James, I was watching the game, and I said, if I have to hear the phrase, they got to get Anthony Davis involved. If I got to hear that phrase one more time, I'm going to lose my mind. Anytime you turn on a Lakers game, you hear, they got to get Anthony Davis involved. They got to get Anthony Davis involved. We have to understand, this is the level of involvement Anthony Davis is going to give you.
That's it.
Stop wishing, hoping, and praying you're going to get a different Anthony Davis. You are not. The Lakers, to me, are in trouble because they always come to this basketball figurative war, and they run out of bullets.
Yeah.
LeBron James does everything he can, especially in the second half. You can expect a flurry from LeBron James. It's usually not enough. D'Lo had 18 in the first half, if I'm not mistaken. Austin Reeves had a strong first half. But come the second half, you got to get more from Anthony Davis. You got to get more from Anthony Davis. It don't matter what announcer. It could be Doris Burke. It could be Richard Jefferson. You got to get more from Anthony Davis. You got to get more from Anthony Davis. They're not getting it.
Yeah.
You're not going to get it. And they don't have enough firepower. The Lakers team I watched yesterday was the same Lakers team I watched last year, was the same Lakers team I watched in the bubble, was the same Lakers team I watched get swept by the Denver Nuggets. They good enough to compete, good enough to make it look interesting, good enough to make it look close, but at the end of the day, they just not going to get the dub. Last thing I will say, and then, James, it's all you, big dog. I equate it to when you race your nephew, your niece, or maybe even your own kids. I don't know about you anymore, Jay, because I ain't see you on the treadmill very much lately, but go with me for a second. You race your kids, and they be running with you. Yeah. But right before the finish line, maybe 10, 15, 20 yards or so, you say, you know what, I'm just going to kick. And they run out of gears, and you beat them. They thought they was going to beat you. Man, Dad, I almost had you. Yeah. And then your head, you're like, son, I was going to beat you regardless.
100%.
The Lakers was playing the Suns yesterday, and the Lakers in their minds are probably like, man, we almost had them. Down by 4 in the fourth quarter. The Suns were going to win that basketball game regardless, just like the Nuggets did last year in the playoffs. James, how much trouble are the Lakers in?
The Lakers are in big trouble, and they're in big trouble because they're in jeopardy of really making the play-in game. When I watched that game, I'm like, this is not a championship basketball team, right? LeBron James is not out here just trying to, get by and play a couple more years without winning some This is not a championship basketball team. They have LeBron James, who exactly like you said, late in some of these games, he tries to make a push. He tries to take over these games. But Anthony Davis, to me, is one of the most inconsistent superstars that we have in our game. And I was saying the same thing. Coach, maybe start the game off. Let Anthony Davis touch this thing 5, 6 times in a row on the possession going down there. Get him involved in the game. But at the end of the day, this is not football.
Thank you.
If you want to get involved, you can get involved in the basketball game. Go get the basketball. Call for the basketball. You can get involved in the basketball game. But he's one of the most inconsistent superstars we have in our game. And they keep saying that because everybody knows if he does not play at a high level night in and night out, they're not even going to smell the championship. So that's why I think a lot of people say that. But the Lakers are in big trouble. This is not a championship basketball team. I think they are a piece away, a Trae Young, a Donovan Mitchell, whatever that may be, a piece away for really competing for a championship. The Lakers this season is in big trouble, in my opinion.
I disagree with both of y'all.
No trouble.
No trouble. Last year, we said the same thing about Anthony Davis. Same thing. They might need another piece, another piece. We forget that they started in the play-in last year.
Yes, sir.
They went to the Western Conference Finals. Yeah. That's a real thing. That means they're the second-best team
in the West.
In the West.
Sure.
Right? And I do think this team is weird, right? The Lakers last year, they've been weird. Like, they play within the calendar, right? I think in April they might turn it on and we'll see another team. But the same thing they did last year, they're doing this year. Up and down, up and down, up and down. We need more for Anthony Davis. He's inconsistent. But then I'll watch these same team, same issues, turn it on. And it's starting to play in and ended in the Western Conference Finals.
You can see that happening?
So when you say, I couldn't see it happening.
No.
I couldn't see it happening last year. True. They proved me wrong. And then because they have talent. They have talent, they have experience. They've been there before. This team has won a championship. Sure. Anthony Davis and LeBron won it together. And if they turn it on at the right time, like they did last year, we're going to be saying, yo, back to the Western Conference Finals. Right. So I'll just say that. I mean, it is a weird situation. They kind of pick and choose when they want to play. I guess the calendar determines that. But I can't write them off and panic yet. I've seen them before look down, and they look good. They're up and down.
Yeah, I can't write them off either. I mean, you mentioned the bubble year. They won the championship that year. Last year, we all said it was over, said lots of crazy things about Anthony Davis, and they were in the Western Conference Finals. And I understand the Western Conference Finals was very quick.
But to get there, though.
They were there, and all these other teams with all this other talent in the West were not. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that's going to happen exactly the same this year, but they're dealing with a lot of injuries as well. Yeah. They don't have any size. That hurt them yesterday. Obviously, the Suns were able to get everyone else involved outside their stars, which they haven't been able to do. I mean, you've got Gabe Vincent out, Cam Reddish, Jared Vanderbilt, Christian Wood. They don't have the perimeter defenders. And then they can't shoot the three, so they got to get to the basket. They got to get to the free throw line. You can't get to the free throw line, you're going to lose. That's what happened yesterday. So I can't completely panic on the Lakers. I don't know that it's going to go exactly the same as it was last year and they end up in the Western Conference Finals. But I do agree that once they get healthy, they have enough to compete in the West, and I don't think that this is...
So let's say they make the play-in, right? And the number one seed is the Timberwolves, who's playing phenomenal.
Yep.
Ant-Man, I've been saying was nice, right? I don't even want to jump on that band because I've been saying was nice. But anyway, phenomenal year. They're the one seed. Let's say Lakers play them. I can see them beating... I can see Lakers beating the Timberwolves because I know what Carl's Anthony Towns looks like in the playoffs. I'm being serious, right? What's the dude that got choked out on the big dude?
Gobert.
Yeah, Gobert.
I know he looks like when it gets hot, right?
Yep.
So we saying all this, right? But they get to that play-in and they win and they got to play the Timberwolves. I can see the Lakers, LeBron James.
But here's the thing. I'm not even disagreeing though. I'm not disagreeing with Joy
Lake show.
or with 225. I'm saying this. Y'all realize, I don't know if y'all doing this intentionally, y'all have made the ceiling the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, but I mean, that's reasonable.
But that's
because you know who's going to be in the Western Conference Finals?
The Denver Nuggets.
Correct.
So that's my dilemma is like, we have made the ceiling the Western Conference Finals. I think they can get to the Western Conference Finals.
Then what are we worried about?
So you do think they go to the Western Conference Finals?
Of course. I think they can get lucky and stumble into the Western Conference Finals.
First of all, you don't get
that's more than luck. You gotta crawl through the back door.
Here's why I say luck, because I think matchups matter.
Yeah.
I think matchups matter a
You
whole
still
lot.
have to win 4 games in those series.
No doubt about it. But I think
a couple of times.
I think if the Lakers played the Suns in the playoffs last year, I think matchups matter. But instead, the Nuggets saw the Suns, and so the Nuggets beat the Suns in 6. Lakers lost to the Nuggets.
I hear you,
so
but you also have to win 4 games in series against teams that have either played well throughout the entirety of the season to be in that position and are all professional players.
Agreed.
I don't think you can luck your way to the Western Conference.
And it's the top seed you got to play.
I'm not disagreeing with any of that. I am saying I do believe that matchups matter. So where I'm saying with the Lakers is, can they get to the Western Conference Finals? Sure. Is that an accomplishment? Not for LeBron James, not for Anthony Davis, not for Darvin Ham, who's supposed to take over this team from Frank Vogel, who had won in 2020, not for the Lakers. So that to me is why I am worried. When you talk LeBron James, you talk championships. You're supposed to. LeBron and AD, you're supposed to talk championships. The point of this season was not to go to the Western Conference Finals. Okay. That's not LeBron James' championship anymore. We haven't moved the banner down for LeBron James to say, congrats, you went to the Western Conference Finals. So that's where I'm like, when we talk about the Lakers, no, they didn't have their full roster yesterday. But last I checked, Bradley Beal, I didn't see him out there hooping. I saw Royce O'Neal hit 6 threes. I saw Grayson Allen hit 6 threes. So even though the Lakers didn't have their full roster, the Suns ain't have theirs either.
But you got a point. I just, coming from the play-in to the Western Conference Finals is not easy.
It's not.
And I can't sit up here, and you are my boy, but I cannot sit up here and let you just, like that's nothing.
But what's it mean? If you're LeBron James, we're talking about LeBron. We're not talking about...
But Acho, I'm saying, if you get there, you got a chance, a great chance.
That's where I disagree. The place where I think I disagreed with you all last year was the Lakers did not have a chance in the Western Conference Finals last year. I would equate it to the same thing of racing your nephew, racing your niece, racing your little young ones. They didn't have a chance. AD put up 30 and 10, they lost. LeBron put up 30 and a half, they lost. Lakers led by 15 and a half, they lost. Lakers came back from down 23 in game 1, they lost. No matter how you decorated the game, the Lakers lost.
If you beat the number 1 seed, you take the number 1 seed out. You tell me you can't see them beating the Western Conference Finals against the finals?
I don't think them beating the Nuggets. You feel me? I don't see them beat. I don't see them.
The Nuggets.
I would at least be able to believe in a world where Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, Royce O'Neal off the bench, Grayson. Now, I could see a world where that could happen.
If we're talking right now, the way the Lakers are playing basketball right now, I don't see them beating none of these teams. And yes, last year is last year. They made a run. They made a run. Kudos to LeBron and the Lakers, and they made a run. They not beating the Phoenix Suns in the series. They not beating the OKC Thunder in the series. They not beating the Denver Nuggets that's sitting at a 3 seed right now. The way they playing basketball right now, they ain't beating none. They might not beat the Warriors in a play-in game right now to get up in there. This team is in trouble
right now. But if they get healthy and start playing with some momentum and get into the same position or better. What happened?
I said there's a lot of people not healthy, though.
I hear you, okay? But the way that this particular team is constructed, they need everybody. So
And that's the dilemma. I guess that's where I'm at. That's the dilemma. Like,
I'm sorry.
The Lakers don't have any margin for error. AD has to go for 40 and 10 every night.
He gets paid
LeBron
to
got to
do
go for
that.
25. True, but he's not doing it. We treat AD like Nikola Jokic. We treat AD like Giannis. We treat AD like a consistent 30 and 12. In our minds, we do. Otherwise, I would say everybody stop saying AD got to turn it off.
I guess just my issue is you think that if they make the Western Conference Finals again, that's like a failure at this point?
For LeBron.
Personally, I do.
I can't. How?
Yeah,
Well,
I
because
can't get
but
that
you say how bad this team is, right? They can't be none of these teams. You're saying, look, awful ADs, this and that and third. They go from the play-in to the West Conference Finals. Anything can happen after that.
Because
if you go from the play-in to the Western Conference Finals, that means you beat the top teams that was playing great all year.
Yeah.
So how can you say that they beat the top teams all year? That they can't win the Western Conference Finals. That don't make sense to me.
Only because it's like this. LeBron is here.
Okay.
It's the same thing how we talked about coming off of football season. We talked about the Chiefs. Chiefs were disappointing the majority of the season. But the Chiefs still ended up winning a Super Bowl. I personally, if the Chiefs lost in the divisional round, wouldn't have been like successful season.
Yeah, but the
also,
divisional
they were
round
8
is
and
not
6.
the Western Conference Finals. It's not the
Even if you go to the AFC champ, no, you're Patty. You're LeBron, and LeBron is better than Pat. LeBron is LeBron.
You're not going to win championships every single year, and I hear the I hear the comparison, but
he's LeBron.
Patrick Mahomes is in his prime. He's not even 30 years old.
I don't disagree. I'm just saying
they are in the middle of the dynasty. Like it would be like if the Nuggets don't win this year. Like okay, they're gonna be back.
But what's
like,
LeBron play for?
I hear you, but
my thing is,
we got to be realistic.
My only issue is this. Like, it's so hard to get there. So if they get to the Western Conference Finals, why are you just canceling out that they can't win? That's my question.
Because from what I saw last year, obviously you and I assessed that game differently. The Lakers weren't close. They weren't close. Like rewatching, however you want to. Nuggets had more size. Nuggets had a better bench. Nuggets had more consistency.
They were way better.
No.
But they weren't
But
my thing is like, even if they were way better, that means the gap between the Lakers and everybody else is that much bigger too. Because if we want to
matchups, though.
I don't care.
You don't care about matchups?
No,
I don't care because you played.
The first two games, they could have won that first. If you remember the first, they could have won.
Yes. But I don't care because you play series in basketball. If it's one game, okay, you didn't bring your best game today, you go home, play in, whatever. But you have to win 4 games multiple times.
Right.
And forget the play-in situation as well. So to say like, oh, well, if this team played this team, what? Go win the game.
It's crazy to say, but I think if LeBron James gets this type of basketball team to the Western Conference Finals, that's a success. Because I don't think it's a championship basketball team. Like, I'm not expecting the Lakers to win no championship. If LeBron can get them near to the Western Conference Finals again, which means he's really going to have to put this team on his back, because like we saying, Anthony Davis is here one game, he's not here one game. LeBron is super consistent. So if he can put this team on his back and get this team to the Western Conference Finals, I think that's a heck of an accomplishment.
But the point I'm saying is, for them to go to the play-in to the Western Conference Finals, I think that's going to be hard as hell to do, right?
Yes.
So my thing, if you would accomplish that, then why is it so hard to say that, yo, they might can win the Western Conference Final?
The gap. Like, to me, it's like...
It's a big gap to get from the play-in to the Western Conference Finals.
But you remember you played Mario, bruh. Beating Bowser, that last... like, it was cool making it through all the... Beating Bowser wasn't no joke, and you laugh because you know what it is.
Nuggets and Bowser.
I got a point.
It's about 5 days.
I'm saying, if you get there, though, you got a shot.
You be restarting the game over and over.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.